Welcome back, everybody, to From the Sinner's Mouth podcast. Yes, we're all sinners, but try not to be. Welcome to my mother's kitchen. I had a 24-hour drive to San Diego from San Antonio. It's about 20 hours of drive time, and I slept for four through three incremental naps. Um, it was quite a journey. I'm actually pretty tired. My body kind of hurts a bit, but I'm excited to like actually be here. It's what, July 31st right now. So when I'm recording this, this podcast, this episode is going to be about surrender and obedience. Um, and I'm going to talk a bit about my own journey with this and what this looked like. This might be a long one, by the way. So for anyone who's here, this is like a really kind of like really important, and it's really challenging. So I'm gonna try to do my best to explain it and explain what this journey has looked like for me in different ways. And then also, I'm currently like actively in the middle of where I think I'm hearing and understanding what God wants me to do. And so you guys are gonna kind of go on this journey with me, like actively. Like all of this is just like, hey, I think this X is supposed to happen, and I need to figure out what to do. But it's not me. It's like I need to figure out what he's telling me to do. So yes, I'll kind of like explain and then come back to this and kind of explain what I'm going through right now. But anyhow, so surrender. I think that we all talk about like, and you have in the church, right? You always hear people talk about, oh, go get baptized and give your life to God and do these things. But like, what is that actually? Um, I will say that when God came into my life and he spoke to me on February 18th, 24, I said, I'm going to follow you. But I'll be honest, I didn't surrender to him. I didn't actually surrender until Christmas Day. And it was during a psilocybin trip that I did surrender. I'll never forget that moment. I feel like I may have talked about it on a prior episode, but um, that moment was the moment of like true surrender, and it's there's many more moments of surrender. Like don't think it's not like one initial like act or one thing that happens. Things are bothering me. My mom's smile stuff under my arm. Um, there's not like a single moment. I think there's layers and depths to it, right? Like there's depths to surrender, there's depths to obedience, there's it just kind of gets deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper the closer you get to God. And actually, I wrote something about this one day right after reading the book of Job, which, by the way, if you haven't read the book of Job in its entirety, most people read like portion of it or like read the first couple of chapters. No, read the whole fucking thing. Like it's absolutely insane the level of obedience and sacrifice that Job made and still pursued God. I just suggest that you read it. Like, just highly suggest that you read it. Anyhow, so back to the surrender. I also don't think that you can truly obey without surrendering to God, because the surrender for me, especially with me, like I have a big issue with control. And I think that to an extent, like you should control all the things you can control. But what I mean by control is I was constantly trying to control the outcome, not realizing that God's plan and God's outcome may look differently than what you initially thought or planned for. Like he'll give you the vision, but like the path to the vision may not be what you thought it was. And like sometimes things are gonna go perfectly smoothly and better than you ever could have hoped and imagined. And then sometimes it's gonna be absolutely chaotic. Like you're just gonna be like, what the fuck is happening? Like why is this happening? What's going on? Like leads me to I always come back to Proverbs 3:5-8. Like lean on me and lean not on your own or trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. I'm butchering it, but like basically like you're human. Like you don't know. We don't know better. We really don't. God knows better. God cares for us and he's gonna lead us the right way. But it's just like, are you gonna fucking listen? Are you actually gonna go do what you need to do? And are you gonna surrender the outcome? So through different layers of surrender, like I'm gonna give an example of where let's just say I really struggled. Um, and I've been talking about this a lot lately, just like what surrender looks like and like how to listen to God's voice and how to discern when he's telling you things. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but bear with me. I'm going to try to give you a visual, right? So let's just say when you're trying to figure out, or at least this is my understanding and how it feels, and I've talked to other people who feel like they discern pretty well, and they agree that it's like this. So like, say you're walking on a straight path, right, and you feel God is telling you go right, and you're like, I don't know if that's really God or not, right? So you keep walking straight, and then it's going to be someone else coming in your life and be like, hey, go right. And you're gonna be like, oh, that's kind of weird. That's kind of coincidence. Like someone else told me. And then you're gonna hear like, go right, go right, go right. And you're gonna be like, oh, okay. And then, we humans, we're like, we're gonna go left. And then you start going left, and then like all of a sudden, like that path is gonna be like chaos. Like things are gonna happen, like weird things are gonna happen, but like not good. Like I was in a situation where I went and I saw someone I shouldn't have seen during like this journey, and like they crashed their car like in front of me, and I was like, that's really odd. Like we've done this thing 1,000 times, and like all of a sudden, like this, why did they crash their car this time? And then it was just like everything was just kind of like chaotic and very stressful and very weird. Like it just felt wrong, like in so many ways. And then it's kind of like, okay, but then when you go pivot and you go right back and you're like, okay, still, but then you're still being told go right. So then you go right, and then it's just like, oh, it's just peace. And then what most people don't realize is that like I had someone tell me this and it makes so much sense now. When God tells you to walk through a door and you walk through the door, he opens the next door immediately. Because like the scripture talks about walking in close fellowship with the Lord. The Lord will guide you wherever you need to go. Sometimes you need to just sit there. Like sometimes he'll say, hey, walk to this door, and he opens the next one, but he needs you to find the next door. Like in the sense of he needs you to sit where you are. And then so that way once that door reveals itself, then you'll know like where you need to go. And so you'll go right, and then it'll be like, and it's like, oh, it feels good, like it feels peaceful. And it's like, go right again. And you're like, okay. And you're like, now go left. And you're like, okay. And then all of a sudden he'll put like someone in front of you that needs to have either you need to have a conversation with them, or they speak life or truth into you and something that you've been going through. Like it happens all the time. And like if you just let it happen and just kind of go where he tells you to go, you'll start like realizing and seeing how those things really like come to fruition and like how God works, right? So say that to kind of give a visual about like when you feel like God is telling you to do something. So backtrack. So just there's been two very important women in my life. I don't have a lot of important women in my life in all different ways, but like it's just an ex-girlfriend, and I'm not going to use names, but an ex-girlfriend, um, and then there's was a more recent one. And so the ex-girlfriend, just because for this portion of the story, they live in Canada. Okay. Wild story. Don't need to get into it right now, but that had ended sometime early November of last year. Um, and I'll be honest, it was a really, really, really tough, like breakup. I didn't want to leave it, but it felt like I had to. I didn't understand why. And I think they felt the same thing too. Like we both were trying to like make it work, and both of us, I think, felt like we needed to kind of go our own way, and it was really like really hard on us. And then a couple months later, I ended up meeting someone that like over a year and a half, this person and I were trying to be. Someone was trying to introduce us together for like a year and a half, and it never worked out for some reason. And all of a sudden, this time it did. Like this time, it was just like, and neither of us expected to like each other or to care about each other the way that we did. And this person was wonderful. Both women were wonderful, honestly. Like I have nothing bad to say about either of them. We all are human. We of course make mistakes and things, but like both women are absolutely incredible human beings and people and love God and we're just on different paths, and sometimes you're just meant to meet people for a time. Anyhow, so I meet the newer one, and we're dating, and we're kind of just taking it slow, and everything's going really well. Like no issues, nothing wrong. If anything, I probably terrified them a bit because I'm a little much and a little chaotic at times, and they're like very peaceful and very like chill and relaxed. But anyhow, like towards the end, this is right before Easter weekend for context. We started dating like end of January, early February. So it was like 2.5 months or whatever in. I had just met this person's family. So just to kind of give you like an idea of where we were at in that, like it was heading towards a much more serious direction. And I started feeling this thing where I was like, I felt like God was telling me I need to go to see my ex in Canada. And I was just like, no way. And I was like, Lord, I was just like, in the name of Jesus Christ, if this is not from you, take it away from me. And I'll tell you, God will take it away. If it's not from him, and you pray that prayer, like he'll take it away like that. And this didn't go away. And this was over like, I want to say a week and a half, 2 weeks. Maybe it was less than that. It just felt like it was really long, but like it was just like incessantly on my mind, like just constant. And I was like, why is this on my mind? It started affecting like me, like even when I was with the one person I was seeing, like this was like popping up, like go, go, go. Like I'm telling you to go, like go do this thing. And I was just like, why are you wanting me to go do this? Like that relationship is done. Like this is good. Like why are you wanting me to do this? And it was just on my mind, on my mind, on my mind. And then like the moment I made the decision to like say, okay, so I called the person I was seeing because I didn't want to just like go do this behind their back. And I said, hey, I'm sorry, but I feel like I need to go see my ex and I don't really know like why. And they were like, well, do you want to be with them? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. I just feel like I need to go do this thing. And I had asked God, I was like, can I just like call and be like, hey, like, do you want to like see me or something? Because this is weird. And God was like, nope, just go, like, just show up. Well, I talked to the girl I was seeing. She's upset. Well, of course she should be, because it sounds like I don't know how to explain it. I would probably be like, okay, like, bye then. And so, we end, and then I book a trip for 2 days later, and I go fly to Seattle to go then drive into Canada. And everything about this has been like open. There was like one seat left on the flight that I needed to take. I used my points. It was actually, I had just enough points to make it free. I had a hotel room. I booked a hotel room through my points and it was free. Like everything was like just perfectly fine to go like have this happen. Well, I go on this journey and I don't get across the border to Canada. And by the way, I felt peace. Like the moment I made this decision, like I felt peace, although I was very sad and very like just didn't understand what was going on. I just knew it was from God. I just didn't. I was just like, I don't know why I have to do this, but I'm okay. I'm just trying my best to listen, trying to bet my best to obey what it is you're telling me. So I go and can't get across the border, and I'm just sitting there like, what's wrong? I'm sitting there like just completely like baffled. Like, what? You sent me here to go do this, and then you're not gonna let me? And so then I end up like getting a hold of my ex, and I was like, hey, like, feel like she's like, what are you? She's like, what are you doing? Are you okay? Is everything fine? I was like, yeah, I'm across the border. They won't let me across, and like they need you to say that it's okay that I come. And she's like, well, why are you here? I was like, well, I'm here to see you. She's like, you're just gonna show up? And I was like, yeah. She's like, I don't want to see you. And it's like, oh, you don't? She was like, no. And I was like, well, that's so weird because God was telling me to come here to come show up at your door. And she's like, I am really busy this weekend. I don't have capacity to see you. And I just don't think it's like, I don't think it's really conducive for us to be talking. Like, hey, I wish you well. Like, she was very, very nice and sweet about it. And like in the best way was like, I just don't think that we should see each other. And I was just like, that's so weird. And in a weird way, I kind of knew that that may happen, but I was just like, this is so weird because God, you sent me here. Why am I here? And so I ended up having to like cancel the room, and I'm like, okay, you can either fly back home, right, or I can sit here. I'm like, God sent me here for a reason. I got to figure out what this reason is. And so I spent 3 days in like Seattle and north of Seattle. Like I went to church a bunch. I prayed a ton. All these things happened. God revealed like how He spoke to me, and He speaks to you in different ways. But at least how He spoke to me that time, because He speaks to me differently now sometimes. But He told me, and I basically was like, I was asking the wrong questions. So I was like, I was just kind of sitting there trying to tell Him, like, God, like, why do you have me here? Like, why do you have me here? Why do you have me here? And then I fasted for a day, like, and I was just like deep in prayer. So on Easter Sunday in the evening, He revealed to me that He I had the questions that I asked was, "Did you send me here just to see if I would obey you?" And He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay." And then I was like, "Are you wanting me to be single?" And He said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, for how long? Like a month?" No answer. 3 months? No answer. 6 months? No answer. To the end of the year? Yes. Or more? Yes. Okay. Like nothing, no dating at all. Like, it's kind of like, yes, no dating. Okay. I don't know what that looks like, but fine. I was like, well, do I need to give up smoking and drinking and weed and, other things? And basically didn't answer. And I was like, well, is it up to me? And he's like, yes. And I was like, okay. And so I realized that he sent me on this journey. And my crazy ass booked a flight. Like I am a little bit crazy in that sense. I think a lot of people told me, like, I told a couple people, they're like, "What are you gonna do this weekend?" I was like, "Well, now I'm going to go try to see my ex in Canada." They're like, "What? Like, why are you gonna do this? Like, that's insane. You're just gonna show up at her door?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "What if she doesn't want to see you?" I'm like, "Then I hang out in Canada for a few days, like whatever, you know." I just didn't think anything. I think people should do more crazy shit. Like, I don't have any bad intentions. I don't have absolutely 0% of me ever wants to harm anyone. Um, but it was just like, hey, like, but if that was what he's calling me to do, and it was supposed to be like this romantic love story or something, then okay, I would try and listen to what God told me. Anyhow, I'm still glad I went, and I felt so much peace being there. Like, even in this complete, like, absolutely unknown environment, and just not knowing why I'm there. Like, it was ended up being like a profound and beautiful weekend, and I got so much closer to God because of it. Um, and so I ask you, like, would you have done it? Would you have walked away or went and left a healthy relationship with a beautiful partner? Like, I mean, Grant, I gotta tell you, this woman loves God more than I think anyone else I've met that loves God. Like, she's led me to the Catholic faith. She showed me what faith, like devoutness, looks like. Like, she was in it, in it, in it, in it. And I was just like, oh my God, this is a beautiful thing. Like, I see this now. It wasn't like "Oh, like, I try." No, it was like she was in it and was like, and almost everything she said was true. Um, and I was like, "You just wanted me to walk away from that." And God was like, "Yeah." And the crazy thing is He told her that, "Hey, just leave him to me." And she tried to, like, do it for a weekend, but she was thinking that she was listening, but she wasn't listening. God was the whole time was saying like, "Hey, step away from each other. Like, I introduced you guys for a purpose, and I think it was to bring me back to the Catholic faith. Um, but like, you guys aren't meant to be right now. Like, that's not, that's not what I need you guys." Like, he was telling her, leave him to me. And he was telling me, come seek me, come to me, focus on me. Don't focus on anything else. And so it was just like, wow, okay. That's not an easy thing to do. I'll tell you that. Like, I'm gonna tell you, to be honest with you, I didn't want to go to Canada and see my ex. I was like, this sounds absolutely insane. But it was just like, I trust you, God. Like, I trust that you're guiding me the right direction, and for whatever reason, even though it wasn't about my ex, I still felt like so much peace, and that I went. Like, I'm just glad that I followed. And I look at it and I think about these things, right? Like, when you read scripture, most people focus on like the good and the grace and all this different stuff, but like, they don't like, yeah, people like to stay away from the suffering aspect of it. There's so much beauty in suffering. Um, and yeah, I suffered. removing potentially the two women in my life, and one was already removed, but like removing it, right? And then removing a good woman that I had in front of me. And it's just like, would you have done it? Would most people have taken that step? If you're Abraham and God finally gave you your first son, would you go sacrifice him? And I love talking about that specific scripture, because most people are like, oh, but God would never have you sacrifice your son. I'm like, yeah, but Abraham didn't fucking know that. He didn't know that. There wasn't the New Testament where Jesus came and explained everything, where you get to read it all. And most people listen to the New Testament and then they read the Old Testament with the New Testament in mind. Read the Old Testament without the New Testament. And imagine there is no New Testament. Just read the Old Testament. Your perspective is going to look completely different, because God is the same God in the Old Testament as he is in the New Testament. Like, he didn't like just change his heart and was like, "But, I just want to be different now." No, like, he still says follow the law. He still says to do these things. He's still, God loves sacrifice. Holy shit, so much sacrifice, right? Not just physical bloodshed, like pleasing aroma to the Lord, bloodshed. Like, I don't even know what that smell. I think about that all the time. What does that smell actually smell like to us, right? And would it be pleasing to us, or would it not? But he loves bloodshed. He shed his own son. Blood, one of the most brutal and gory ways someone could die, right? Didn't say, hey, just stab the dude in the heart and then call it a day. No, he got crucified. Like, he loves sacrifice. And so you think about these things, and when he called Abraham and said, go to sacrifice your only son, Abraham was walking his son up that mountain. If I'm butchering this, I'm sorry, but walking us up that mountain, and his son's like, where's the lamb that we're sacrificing? He's like, don't worry, son, God will provide the lamb. Not knowing and not trying to tell him, you're the fucking lamb, and I'm gonna go walk up. And he was about to kill him. He was about to sacrifice his son because God told him to. Do you have that level of obedience? Are you willing to go that mile? Would you, if God told you to go sacrifice your son, to go leave a good, healthy relationship, to go do whatever the fuck he tells you to do, would you go do it? Truly ask yourself, would you do it? And I guarantee you, most of you wouldn't. I'm sure that I don't listen to everything he tells me. I know I don't, because I've had moments where I'm like, I should have talked to that person. He's like, yep. And I was like, shit, sorry, you should have helped that person. Yep. Right. And it doesn't mean I have to help every person. That's not what that means. Like, I drive by people on the road all the time, and I don't feel like I'm like, I need to stop for that person. It's like, nope. Okay. There are so many people that I've stopped and helped, because it's just like, oh, and then when you help them, you're like, I needed to be here. I got to speak God into this person's life. And this just happened the other night. I was on the way to San Diego. Like, literally got to help some guy at a gas station, and I was like calling me. Like, this guy was like, saw this guy walking, and I saw him twice, and he just had this disgruntled look on his face. And I was like, hey man, can I help? Like, you need anything? You need something? And he was just like, oh, my car's not working. I was like, well, what's going on? So I asked him, and I was just like, "Shit, dude, I have no idea how to fix it. I don't know if the car's like that." Like, but he's like, well, I put gas in it, I put a fuel injector, all this stuff is cool. I think it just might be overheating." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, well, "Where are you headed?" And he's like, "Arizona." And I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." So I was like, "All right, well, I'll pray for you, man. God bless." Like, and I walked away. I sit in my car, and I'm on the phone with a friend, and I'm just like, I feel I need to go talk to that guy and offer some help, like more help, or like be around a little longer. And it was just kind of like racking my brain. And so then I was like, "Hey," I told a friend, I was like, "Hey, let me call you back." And they're like, "Okay." And I go back out, I go see the guy, and I was like, "Hey," like, I was like, "You said you're going to Arizona?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "How bad do you need your car?" And he's like, "I need it pretty bad." And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "Well, I'm going to San Diego." I was like, "When do you need to be there by?" And he's like, "Well, by Thursday." I'm like, "Okay, I gotta be in San Diego by Thursday." I was like, "If you want, I can take you. Like, I can take you on the way." First, granted, I don't know who this fucking guy is. I don't know if he's a murderer. I don't know anything. And women who are listening to this, please don't do this. Please don't offer another man, a strange man. Please don't go help a strange man with anything. at a gas station. Like that is not your role to do. I am a man. I'm not a small man, right? I don't have to worry about those things. God is not going to put you in a position to where your life could be in danger. So don't look at like I need to go help this guy push his car. No, no, you don't. That's okay. Like keep yourself safe. Please, please, if you don't have a man, if you're with a man and the man wants to help, let him help. Okay. Let him be a man and do it. Don't worry. His safety is different. Okay. Um, anyhow, so he ends up being like, "No, I need my car, but thank you so much for willing to like offer that." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, so I hang out, and some other guy walks over, and then and he was like, "Well, maybe you guys can just like help me push the car over here or whatever." And we helped him push the car, and I remember him getting out of the car, and he's like, "You are God's people." And I think about that, and like I hear different pastors talking about, but like, are you living your life in a way to where people recognize God in you, like from your actions and how you're living your life? Because I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're not saved by faith and faith alone. All the people who say, "Oh, once saved, always saved," yeah, fuck that. They're stupid and they're dumb and they're probably lazy individuals in life and they probably haven't accomplished shit in their life because it's not how anything works. Nothing works by just existing and be like, "I believed in this," and like, "Oh, cool." Just because you believe everything's just going to miraculously happen. No, that's not how things work. God requires work. Faith without works is dead. It's mentioned multiple times. Okay. So anyhow, does God have the authority to save someone because they have faith and faith alone? Absolutely. God can do whatever the hell he wants. He's God. He absolutely can do it. But it drives me insane when you have all these people with this entitlement mentality. You are not entitled to shit. You are not entitled to salvation. If you think you're entitled to salvation, you are gravely mistaken. And I really, really hope that you take a hard look at that and a hard look at yourself because I may never be saved, and that's okay for me. My duty and my purpose is to obey and to surrender and to serve God and to bring people to Him. That is my one purpose in this life. Everything else, secondary to that. The deeper my faith, the more I read, the more I study, the more I learn, the more I understand this concept. I don't work out for myself anymore. I work out because I want God's vessel to be a tool for him to use. I want to be able to be seen a certain way so people are drawn to me so I can speak life and truth into them. It's not okay to be fat. It's not okay to be unhealthy. You're spoiling God's body. God gave you a gift. Don't squander it. It took me way too long to realize this. Way too long. And like, and don't get me wrong, I mess up all the time. Like, I want like right now I'm in carnivore. I want to eat candy and sweets and whatever. There's some cookies sitting right here that look are just screaming my name. Like, just eat me. It's okay. Just eat one. Like, no, no. Like denying myself. And I'm not saying I'll never eat a cookie again. It's just right now, like this, especially this year and this year pursuing God. Like, I cut out drinking. I cut out smoking cigarettes. Cut out smoking weed. I cut out coffee. I had a couple energy drinks on the way over here, but I tried to find ones with no sugar. And it's like I went carnivore, so removing like sugars and things from my life as much as possible. And it's not easy. It's not easy because I want all these things. Your body wants the things that feel good, right? But like it's not. I truly believe that food and certain things are will actually remove you and take you out of God's presence, right? For some reason, we see this in the church a lot. Like if I see a pastor and they're fat, I honestly don't really give a fuck about what they say. I'm like, if you dedicated your life to the Lord and you're overweight, you have a major problem with gluttony. And like that's fantastic that you pray a lot or whatever. I'm like, but go work out for 45 minutes. That can be prayer too. I have some of the most profound things and profound ideas or whatever that come to my mind from God when I'm working out, when I'm exerting my body. Like, go work out, go move your body, go eat healthy. For one, you feel better. You feel better. People are drawn to you. But like in a good way, in a healthy way. Um, yeah, sorry, I went ramble for a bit. All right, so let's move on now to what I'm currently going through. So I don't know when I'm gonna post this, but it is it like I said, it's July 31st. So there's a guy at my one of my coworkers. Okay, he runs the sales team for like the central region of my company, and we are just talking about something else, and he planted this seed in. When I say he planted a seed, I don't think it was really like meant to be a seed. I think he was just like just asking. So there's, oh, excuse me, had to burp. There's a position open for our company in Chicago. Now, doing a little bit different of a role than what I'm doing because I focus on a wholesale business, and this would focus on retail. But long and short of it is, I guess we have time. Well, I'm here recording a podcast. No one's here but me. Anyways, you guys can listen or not. Fast forward. I don't care. I have no. By the way, if yeah, I need some feedback on these things. So I'm sorry for anyone that's just suffering through this with me. This is just me. This is how I talk. This is how my brain works. So I hope you're at least getting some entertainment out of this. All right, back to the story. So, um, so my coworker's like, "Hey, there's a position open," and I was like, "Oh, why don't you like you recommended me this guy or whatever? Why don't you hire him?" And he's like, "Well, because our COO, it's like his baby. Like he built his career out of that territory, and he's like he wants a very specific person in there, and he just doesn't want to just hire anybody." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Well, if like by the end of the year, like in 6 to 9 months, if I can't find anyone," he's like, "which if I understand this market, I don't think that I will. Would you be open to maybe like kind of doing a hybrid role and focusing on what you're focusing on, but also do this role?" And I was like, "Mm." And he's like, "Well, you'd have to move." Full transparency, I don't want to fucking live in Chicago. No, I don't want to live in Chicago. Texas is the shit. Texas is amazing. Guess what I can do? I can walk around with a gun everywhere I go and not have to worry about it. I don't know all the rules in Chicago, but Chicago is a liberal ass place. I don't want to live in a liberal ass place. I come from that. Their politics are fucking garbage. They all sound nice. It sounds great, but the execution is piss poor. Like, oh, we did this, we did that. First of all, you don't do shit, but make the life harder for people who fucking work hard. You want to give more shit to people who are poor and are lazy and don't want to fucking do shit. It's entitlement bullshit. No, go get a fucking job. Well, if you can't work, guess what? Either hope that you have family that can work or have people who work hard that are willing to provide. I don't want my money to be taken out in taxes to go feed people that choose not to work. If you physically can't, okay, but only the people who physically can't. Not for the people who don't. If you don't want to work, well, sorry, figure it out. You're gonna find out. Guess what? You stop feeding them, they're gonna find a way to be fed. They're gonna find a way to eat. That's usually what happens. Anyhow, um, I have this thought or this thing, and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, I don't want to go. So I hope that I was like, good luck. I hope we find someone because it's not a hard no, but I really would rather not. Well, this thing has been incessantly on my mind again. So the story that I just shared about going to Canada, leaving the relationships, all those things. That's what I'm feeling now. I'm starting to get better and understand more so now and starting to like try to act on and make decisions quicker because I don't want to be out of obedience with God. And I don't want to get to the point where like things feel stressful. Now, granted, this is a very big life change. This would require me literally uprooting and moving to Texas. I, and so I was like, I mean, not moving to Texas, moving to Chicago. And so I call after a few days of this just racking my brain, I call my coworker back and I was like, "Hey, I need some more information on this." And full transparency, like it's been on my mind incessantly and it's not going away. So I need to like kind of understand the logistics of all of this stuff. So we talked for a while. He's explaining to me, and I was like, "Look, I want to be clear. If I go do this, I still want to have my focus on what I'm doing. I will help manage the book of business and I will grow new business, but by no means do I want to go retail full time. And by no means do I want that to be a focus. Like I want it to be clear that it will be supplemental to my focus in wholesale. And and last time I was like, do you think that I can physically do this? Because I don't want to be in a position where they force me to choose retail and not go after wholesale. because it is time consuming. It's a lot of state travel, like out of state travel. And if they're like sitting there wanting me to be in state every week, like I just it's not going to be doable. And he's like, "Well, I've seen how you work, and like I know that you can do it." And honestly, I'd love to have you there. And I was like, "Well, I think that our COO, I know he likes me." I was like, "Think that he would be open to me doing this." I just would want to make it clear. He's like, "You can have your title be whatever you want it to be." He's like, "Honestly, it would be great to have you out there because I think that you would do really, really well." Um, and so we talked, and I was like, "All right, well, I want to run it by my other coworker." And he was kind of like, "Well, you're the only person I've told about this, and I don't know if you should tell them." And I was like, "Well, they kind of said something similar not too long before you mentioned this, like I want to say a week ago or so." So it's interesting that you bring this up, that like they had kind of mentioned something like this. And he was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Oh, I really trust his judgment, and like I want to talk it through with him." So I called my boss and basically said, "Hey, this is very, very early stages. Don't hold me to it. I don't even know if I want to do this, but this is kind of where it's at. What are your thoughts?" And he's like, we talked it out a bit. And he's like, "Well, it's not the worst idea." And yeah. By the way, my boss lives in Chicago. So does our main operations guy. My boss golfs. We'd be really close. He's a really good dude. I learned a lot from him. So I'm like, I would literally be able to like go run and gun alongside this guy and like go make shit fucking happen. It would be an incredible like blessing and for work wise, and I think it would just be good for the company because it's what's good for the company is what is more important, right? Um, and so it's just kind of like he's like, "It's not the worst idea." He's like, and I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna be on vacation for the next week and a half. I'm gonna pray on this a lot because it's a big life decision. But if I come back," and I told my coworker this too. I told my coworker and my boss, I was like, "If I come back and the position isn't filled or isn't about to be filled, and I still feel what I'm feeling right now, I think we're gonna move forward with this." And he was like, "Okay, yeah." He's like, "Go think about it, go pray on it, um, and we'll put a plan together when we get back and present it. If that's about we're gonna go." I said, "Okay." So all this happens on Monday morning. Okay, as far as the second conversations. So I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna wait a while." I just fucking just made the phone call. I go meet friend for mass, and this is a very new friend. Like I really just kind of I met like a week prior but didn't really talk. So I met him on Saturday, talked to him a bit, ended up going to church with them and some friends, sorry, mass and church twice. He was on Sunday. I went to church 4 times, the service 4 times. He went to 3 of the services. And like then I ended up going to like inviting someone else to go to mass, and he was like, "Oh, where are you guys going?" I was like, "Mass." And he's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Do you want to come?" And he's like, "Well, if I'm invited." I was like, "Yeah." And I had this thought. I was like, I feel like I'm supposed to be getting him to mass and not this other person. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to be talking to him. And so the other person didn't end up going, and then he went. And so we go to mass on Monday. I'm sitting there in mass crying. Okay. I'm sitting there crying because I'm like, "God, is this you telling me you want me to go to Chicago? Like, is this you telling me that?" And I don't know if you've ever felt this, and for those who do, when I'm asking God a question and I get a hard yes, I start sobbing, or like I feel like the Holy Spirit came over me and it's just like, yes. Like I was really struggling with something the other day, and I was just cleaning, and like I was struggling with a thought. Like I wasn't like really, it wasn't really racking my brain that bad. It was just like there, and I was just like, "Oh well," and I was like, "How am I supposed to just do this?" And it was just like, boom, sobbing. I was like, "Okay, I hear you." Like, and so this happened. I was just sitting there like, "God, like, are you really telling me I need to go to Chicago?" And it was just like, "And you're telling me that like and then this," and it was just like, "Yes." And like, and I was just like thinking back to these things recently, as of like the last month and a half, before I got confirmed, actually. Like, God was like, "Go start getting rid of all of your stuff, like your stuff that you don't use in the house." And I was like, "What?" Like, it's just random. Like, it was just like, felt like I need to start getting rid of. I have like an Xbox system, and like I had a bunch of stuff that was kind of laying around, like, oh, in case I play games again or whatever. And it's just kind of like this thought, like, just get rid of your things that you don't use and these childish things. Like, this is not what you need to do. You need to focus on me. And I was like, okay. And I didn't do it for a couple weeks, and it was really bothering me. And then suddenly I went and posted the stuff online, and I gave a bunch of stuff away to a friend, and it was like that peace. So it's just like, oh, you were telling me to do this. And then I was thinking about that in mass, and I started crying more because I was like, oh, this is what you've been preparing me for is for a potential move. And it's like, oh shit. So I sorry, I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. Okay, so I go to mass with this guy, and afterwards he goes, "Hey, do you have some time? Do you want to like go grab some coffee or something?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I didn't drink coffee; I drink tea. But we go and to go grab coffee. Sorry, thirsty. And we end up talking for like 2 hours. So I'm a part of, and I have to make this pivot because it's going to make more sense. I'm a part of a group called CBMC, Christian Businessmen's Connection. They're a global organization, and I'm on the area leadership team for San Antonio as of like the last couple months. And so part of what I help the guy who runs the San Antonio division or chapter, I like kind of help him operationally. I help him set up agenda for meetings and just do different things like that. Like so, try to keep things structured and efficient. Because I'm pretty impatient, so I'm like, I've made some comments like, hey, if we're gonna have these meetings, like we need to like make these more streamlined because I'm losing interest. And he's like, okay. So we talk about these kinds of things and talking about communication plan to like do outreach for prospects and things like that, and like who is our addressable market, everything. Um, excuse me, had to burp again. Anyhow, we're supposed to have a meeting the next morning. Okay, so this is Monday, and we're gonna have a meeting Tuesday morning. And um, so Monday's there, mass, having coffee with this guy, and we're just talking to each other and just he's just I'm asking him questions and he's telling me about his life, he's telling me about his business, and then he's telling me about his faith walk. And in this faith walk, he talks about how he's been called to leadership. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, well, yeah, I feel like God's really been calling me to leadership and I've been really kind of hesitant because I've been kind of scared. He's like, but when I started taking action this year and I like put together like a life group, and he's like, we have, quite a few men, but a lot of people kind of fell off for different reasons. He's like, now we're only down to like 5 men. And I was like, well, what do you guys do in this life group? And he's like, well, it's just kind of like talk about life and how to like live out faith in our daily lives and all this stuff. And I'm like, so I'm sitting there listening to him, and then I'm like, I was like, I have a few questions for you. And he's like, sure. I was like, would you say, because him and his brother run the business together, and I was like, would you say, and it's a media business, by the way. I was like, would you say that you are more of the operations person in this and you're pretty efficient when it comes to like organization and outreach? And he's like, he kind of smiled, like, yeah, I think that's exactly it. And I was like, okay. And uh, I was like, and you do media. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. I was like, you feel called to lead? And he's like, yeah. And I said, well, explain to him a little bit about this group. And I was like, and in my mind, right? I have all these thoughts going on in my mind, and not everything that I'm thinking is coming out loud. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, God, this is why you put this man in my life. You put this man in my life because I was feeling like, if God, you're calling me to go to Chicago, I made a 2-year commitment to this CBMC area leadership team. And I don't want to honor my commitment, but I want to honor you more than anything. So if you're telling me to leave, are you putting in front of me my replacement right now? So that way I'm not leaving a role, right? Leaving it unfilled. And I'm putting not only someone to replace me, but someone that's better suited for this position than me, right? I'm evangelical, absolutely. But like you have someone who does this, has their own business. I don't have a business. I'm fairly efficient. I don't have a business. I don't know what that's like. This guy has a business and he's growing and he's doing well and he knows all this stuff and he feels called for this thing. And so it's just like sitting there like, oh my God. And I was like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow morning? I was like, please tell me you're free from 9 to 10:30. And he's like, looks at his counter and he's like, I am. And I was like, fucking course you are free. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call Brian. That's the guy who runs the leadership team um, for San Antonio. And I was like, I'm gonna call him and he's gonna answer the phone. He's a busy guy, but he's gonna answer the phone. And I'm sitting there thinking this. I'm like, I know. I was like, hold on 1 second. Call. Brian answers. And I'm like, Brian, I was like, it's gonna be quick. And he's like, okay. I was like, I can't explain the details right now, but there's a small chance that I may need, and maybe looking at potentially moving to Chicago. I'm gonna get into this later with you, but I'm not gonna go into it. But I'm gonna make a pivot for the meeting tomorrow. We'll still do what we need to do, but I need to introduce you to someone that I think like would be someone. It's just basically I need you to say yes to this, and I need you to understand like this person you need to meet him. And he's kind of like, well, I don't like the first part of that, but okay to the second part. And he's like, if you trust this guy, I trust you. And I said, okay. I was like, all right, see you tomorrow. And so I added the guy that I'm talking to the calendar, and and I'm just like, God, you are crazy, like in the best way. So I went through all of this type of stuff with my confirmation. Okay. When I felt like God was leading me to go be confirmed, and I explained this in my walk to the Catholic faith, he was putting people in my life and things. I mean, like line up, line up, line up, line up. Like that's not a normal path that I did to go do that thing. And he was just like, oh, here's the guy who's gonna sponsor you. Here's the person who this. Here's the deacon that you need to talk to. Here's the father that's gonna say yes. Not never meeting me. Here like it was like yes, 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 yes. Oh shit. Okay, cool. Like and so this is happening, and I'm like, God, this is where I'm like, I think that I'm hearing you. And so I'm sitting here like thinking about it, and oh, so let's go back. So the next morning comes. This is what's today? Today's Thursday. So this is Tuesday morning. Okay, this is 2 days ago. I'm Brian and this guy meet, and I'm sitting there listening to him talk, and I mean they're just hitting it off, like hitting it off. It's going really well. Like basically, I was like, oh, like this is perfect. This is exactly what I thought it would look like. And better if even because I forgot that he does media, and I was like, oh, I do the social media for our stuff, and I'm honestly not very good and consistent with this. Like this guy does this for a fucking living. Like he's gonna have it down and be able to do it with ease. Where I'm sitting there just trying to like scrounge and put things together. As you can see, this will not be edited. You're gonna see all the pauses and breaks and all the chaos of just who I am. But anyhow, so they meet all this stuff, and I'm just sitting there just like smiling in this meeting, like, God, I fucking love how you work. Like, I love how you move. Just love it. Like, if he wants something to happen, he will like this gives, and I think about this all the time. When he talks about moving mountains and parting the sea, people think like, oh, God wouldn't move a mountain. Like, sure, metaphorically, absolutely, like he moves mountains and makes things happen. But the fact that anyone doubts that they can move a mountain. Like when Jesus says, if you truly believe that you can say, take this mountain and throw it into the sea. I truly believe that if you truly believe that and didn't have a shadow of a doubt in your mind and lived your life in accordance with God's plan and how God wanted you to live, he would do it for you. He would give you that power. I'm not there. I hope to be one day. I don't have a goal or desire to go throw a mountain into a sea, but I do believe that he meant that literally. Um, and like I'm gonna say this wrong. I don't want to say test God, but like when God's telling you to do something, listen to him. Whether you fucking like it or not. I'm telling you, I do not want to move to Chicago. I want to get further and further and further away from people. I want to go have like 100-acre ranch with some friends and have like or just a big piece of property. Maybe I don't know about a ranch, but a big piece of property and like live away off the grid. I want to homestead. I want to have like food that's there that we grow as a family. I want to homeschool my kids. Like I want to be away from the government and people and those things. Of course, I don't mind working and traveling and going and doing all that stuff. All that stuff is awesome, right? Like you can be around, but I want to live away from people. And I'm like, God, are you calling me to go be uncomfortable? Granted, I'm finally getting settled. Like, I found a young Catholics group. Like, I got into a Bible studies. I'm in the air leadership for this thing. Like, all this stuff in my life is like settling right now. Like it's so perfect. Like, not perfect, but like it's just so like well aligned. I feel a lot of peace. I'm good and whatever else. And I'm like, you are about to uproot this whole thing. And and so I prayed pretty big prayers, okay? And by the way, I'm going to warn you, be careful of what you pray for, all right? Because God will provide and he will answer your prayers. So when you pray things, just know what you're praying for. And I've had this warning told to me, but I know. Like, my prayers are big. I'll pray things like, God, I want your will to be done with my life, whether I like it or not. Like, I want to live out your wildest dreams for my life because I know my dreams aren't never will be big enough. They just never will. 'Cause I have doubt. I have all these things in my own mind because I'm human, right? I'm like, but God, I want to live your wildest dreams for my life. Like, if you know or think that I'm capable or whatever, not think, but like if you know I'm capable of something great and you want me, and this thing is for you, send me to go do it. Just show me the way. And so I'm sitting there like I've been praying a lot and basically saying, like, God, whatever it is that you want to do with my life, do it. Just do it. Take the things away from me that aren't meant for me. Put the things and put the people in my path that aren't meant for me. I was like, if I need to be single for forever because I need to just focus on you, then okay. Do I want that? No, I don't. I want a wife. I want a family. I want kids. But like, do I? But if that's what he wants, then let it be done. I pray things like, if you need to take away everything from me, if I'm the rich guy, I'm not rich, by the way, not at all, not even close. But if I'm the rich guy that you're like, hey, go sell all your things and and come follow me, then if that's the path you need me to go on, do that. Well, I'm like sitting there like, oh God, you're telling me to go to Chicago. I'm like, and I had this thought in my mind. I was like, if I go, I need to sell everything. I need to sell the house. I need to sell. Is that smart? Probably not. But it's not about being smart. It's not about me understanding. It's not about any of those things. I feel like God, I feel like you're telling me I need to go to Chicago. I feel like this position is not going to be filled, and I might as well just fucking run with it and stop waiting around, right? And then go do it because maybe there's something or someone or whatever it is that you're sending me there for a purpose. Like, I'm gonna go do it. Fuck everything else. Like, my job doesn't matter, my friends don't matter, my family doesn't matter. Nothing else matters more than God. It doesn't. It just really doesn't. Like, I'm sorry for anyone in my life that is gonna listen to this. Like, I love you all. I do truly love you, but God is more important than you. He's more important than your feelings. He's more important in your life. Like, my dog ran away a week and a half prior to this thing, all this stuff happening, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, God, did you have him run away or did you rehome him for me? So it's one less thing that I have to stress and worry about if you're really gonna send me out here. Like, there's a lot of peace that comes with just trusting in His plan. And that's the thing is, I'm just sharing this. I have no idea if this is actually gonna happen. So if this happens, it's gonna be cool because you'll see me in the middle of it, like, what the fuck, and having no idea and understanding. But like, I have this thought that I'm gonna move to Chicago and I'm gonna sell my house. I'm gonna sell my motorcycle, and I'm gonna sell all my shit, and or just give a bunch of shit away for free. I don't know, and go to Chicago and go start completely fresh. Like, take minimal, like whatever doesn't fit in my car, like sell my bed, everything, all of it, just like completely start fresh. Like, what do I really? I don't need a fucking TV. I don't need most things. I need my Bible. I need my catechism. I need like my work stuff. I need my work desk. So I guess I'd probably take some stuff. Um, but like, I guess I don't even need a work desk. I can just take the computer and everything. I don't know. It's just like I could start over. I can go live in an apartment, which I would hate. Like, I don't need to go buy a house again. I realized buying my house was honestly kind of stupid. Like, if I knowing what I know now, I probably should have just like bought like a quadruplex or something like that that will actually generate money, or just like rented a really shitty apartment and try to stack up money. Uh, but anyhow, from a dating aspect, For those of you that made it this far, thank you for listening. This is kind of a long one, but I've had this thought too. Okay, so as a man, and I'm gonna give you a man's perspective. 'Cause I'm not a woman, and I have my thoughts and opinions on things, but like dating is not easy. And when I talk about dating, I mean more kind of like marriage, because I understand now that like marriage and the biblical marriage is not an easy thing. There's a lot of trust there, and was having this conversation with a friend the other night. But like, think about it, and I think about those two women that were in my life, and those two women that were in my life, uh, they had their own things, like that they, had like one of them had a business, and it was really hard for them to feel like they needed to walk away and step away from that, and step away from where they lived, and kind of go like they had like the idea, but like the actual act of doing it was pretty hard. And I understand that it's a hard thing, would be a hard thing for anyone. And then the other one, they're like feeling called to like be closer to their family and to their mom, and because their mom's an older age, and it was like I want to be there for them and whatever else. And I think about this decision, right, to move to Chicago, and like I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I'm single. I'm so glad I'm single because I've always wanted like someone to spend my life with and share my life with. But I've understood this for a while, even before God came in my life, and I think God's just solidified it. I couldn't be married to someone who would make this decision difficult. Um, if God tells me, hey, you need to go sell all your shit and pick up and go move to Chicago because that's where I want you, that's going to happen. And I'm going to do it joyfully. And if I truly feel like that's what he wants, I told God, I was like, God, if this is what you want, pave the way, and I will do it with joy. I would do it, and I will love it. I will embrace the suffering. I'll embrace whatever comes along with this journey. If this is what you want me to do. But if I was married and I had to have a conversation about, like, oh well, I want to stay around. I want to stay close to my mom. Okay, no, like sorry, bring your mom. Well, my mom wouldn't want to do that. It's not my problem. Like I'm saying this harshly, and I don't mean it to sound harsh, but like when you talk about dating biblically, like I'm not saying women that this is an easy thing. You submit to your husbands. If your husband, and I say this, if your husband is submitted to God, okay? And I am not perfect. I fuck up all the time. Like all the time. But I'm just trying my best to listen to God. And if I'm wrong, I absolutely will admit that I made a mistake, and I'll own up to it and handle it, right? But like I truly believe that I'm following God. And like if you are with someone who you feel is following God and you are married to them, I ask you from a man's perspective, please just listen to them. Please trust them. It's so extremely difficult when I have to like explain, like not explain, it's the wrong word. My words with this stuff is terrible. Anyone who knows me, I mean well, but like my words are terrible. When I have to sit there and make you feel good about this thing, all it does is add additional stress to me. Because what I need is I need you to just say yes. I need you to say, you know what, babe, I trust you. If you feel God is telling us to go this way, what do I need to do to support you in this? Because I'm over here thinking about all the fucking logistics that go into it. I'm thinking about I gotta sell my house. I gotta call my realtor. I gotta see what kind of money I can have. What am I gonna do with money? Am I gonna give it away? Am I gonna donate it to some of these organizations that I'm walking away from that I won't be able to, give my time? Like, where are we gonna live? What areas do I need to focus on? Where's it gonna be safe for us or for me? Right? Like, what does that look like? What is the increase in the cost of living? I have all these other fucking things in my mind. The last thing I need to worry about is making you feel okay about this thing. Like, I'm sorry. Like it sounds bad, but I'm a man and I'm a logical, and my job is to provide solutions, and there's nothing more like I feel so loved if someone was like, "I trust you." Like Brian, when he said, "If you trust this guy, I trust you." That is the respect that comes with that is incredible. Like, I love that, but I have to work my fucking ass off to earn it. Like, I'm not just saying just go trust any fucking man blindly. I'm saying if you married someone and you committed your life to them and they're committed their life to God, be his helpmate. Just trust that God's leading him. And it's not easy. I'm not saying that you're just gonna be like, oh, okay. Like it's not that. Just until he fucks up, and if he fucks up and doesn't own up to it, then that's a different conversation. But if he fucks up and says, "Hey, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I misread that situation. I thought God was leading me, but it wasn't, and this is what I'm gonna do to fix it." Okay, cool. Just support. That's where grace comes in, right? But like, I just think about it. I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know, and have not met many women who would just gladly and willingly say, "Yes, I'll go with." I would work like I'm going right? And I do it. And I meet people from all over the industry, okay? And I meet people who are married all the time. And this is partly like why I've probably not married myself. Like I don't think women should work. I think women should be home raising a family, and there is no higher and greater value than a woman being able to be in her true femininity and to nurture the kids and their husband, right? Like I watched this video the other day of it was like this woman, she posts like, you know, husband only things or whatever, like good things. And like this dude comes home and he's like she's laying down, he lays down on her and she just starts rubbing him. And he's like, I had a 17-hour day at work, and he's just like venting and whatever, and she's just rubbing him and like just like letting him vent. She's like, oh, like my baby needs some sleep, like he just needs some love. Oh my God, like how incredible. Like I was like, I saw this and I was crying because I was like, that's all I want. Like all I want is to go fucking battle the world to come home to a wife and to a partner that like is wants me to do that and is gonna come be soft and is going to hold me and be there for me in those moments. Like that's just it's a beautiful thing to witness that. And I know it's not easy. But there's so much that I have to do as a man to make sure that I provide an environment that makes the woman feel safe and feel trusting. Like I understand it's a two-way street. The man's got to be a man, and there's a lot of fucking men who aren't men, and I will be honest. I fall short in a lot of ways, and I know I can be a better man. And I'm just praying that I pray that God is building me into that, and I know that He is, because I've fucked up a lot. I've done stupid things, but like I just think about that. Like if I was in a relationship and I was like, "Hey, I feel like I gotta go do this thing." Am I getting your yes? Or are you gonna fight me on it and try to convince me otherwise? What kind of partner are you gonna be? I meet so many women. And I think women at their core, like, truly want to be in their feminine. I think they truly want to submit and they like being able to submit. But society has broken them down and shitty men have broken them down. And like them having to step into their masculine for so long, they don't know how to fucking step into their feminine. Like I love so many people. Like I love my mom. She's one of those women. She does not know how to step into her feminine. She loves and craves a masculine man, but I'm like, you don't know what it is to be feminine to that man because you think, oh, great, he's smart. He's smarter than me. That's so hot. Let me see how much smarter he is than me. Let me challenge this man and let me see what else he knows better than I do. No, no, don't do that. That man's gonna be like, God, you're a fucking chore. I don't want to deal with that. And I'm out. And if you fuck them, they're gonna be like, oh, cool, I got what I really wanted, and now I'm out. Like, don't do that. Like we don't want to be challenged. I'm challenged by other men all fucking day long. I don't need to come home and have my woman constantly challenging me. I don't need that. I don't want it. Like it's not an attractive quality to be fucking challenged constantly. Yes, you're a woman. I'm gonna be better than you at almost anything that requires any kind of physicality. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. I'm better than a decent majority of men at things that are physical, let alone a woman. Are there exceptions? Always. Um, but anyhow, all that to say, if you're a woman and you have submitted your life to a man, are you fucking saying yes to that without question? Are you saying yes and trusting in his judgment? If I ever get, I don't know if I'll ever be married. I don't know. I mean, I would love to if it's in God's will one day. But I tell you what, I need a yes. I just need a yes. That's all I need. I need to come home and say, "Hey, babe, this is where I think God is gonna lead me. I'm gonna pray and make sure that I'm discerning properly, but I need to be prepared. And I need you to know that this may happen and it may happen quickly. And I need some love. And I need to say yes. I need to hear a yes. And I need to hear, I trust you. And I trust you to lead our family. That's all I need. That's it. And then if I say, hey, babe, can you do this, 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 and this to help me make this happen? Yes, babe, I will do those things. Thank you. I don't want to ever do anything, right? And a good man's never going to do anything that's going to jeopardize the family. And because he's thinking about the family, right? He's got the family in mind. But like I said, what God wants is more important than anything else, and more important than my wife, more important than my kids, more important than anything else. And if you don't truly believe that, you need to ask yourself why not. And if I think that if you don't truly believe that, you don't fucking love God. Because if you love God truly, you truly die to yourself and you truly are willing to sacrifice everything else. Take it all away from me. If this means that I need to be single because it gives me the opportunity to have a 2.5, 3 hour conversation with a female late at night because she's struggling about something and I'm able to speak life and love into her. There was no inappropriateness of it. She needed to have the conversation with me, and I had it. And if I was in a relationship and I was married, I probably wouldn't. I would not probably. I wouldn't have had the conversation, right? And so there's something beautiful, and I'm just starting to see this as of like this last week of being single and being able to have that freedom and flexibility and be able to understand that like bringing people to God's kingdom is more important than anything else, right? And so if being in a relationship or being married ever limited me to doing that, like or was detrimental to path that God has me on, then I'll say it right now. Don't don't give it to me. I'd rather be single. Like I I want to obey God's plan, right? That's all I want to do. And I'm trying to do my best. And I may be wrong. I'll know I was wrong about this. Or at least if this wasn't, I don't think I'm wrong about it. I think that if God fills the position, then it wasn't meant for me to go. But he may just want to see if I was willing to do it. But I am. I am willing to do it, whether I like it or not. It's not about that. Um, I think that's really all I have for today. So a lot of stuff that I threw at you all, and then saying that surrender. There's something different about surrender. It's not just about a public display and getting baptized and all that bullshit. It's all, sorry, not bullshit. They're all wonderful things, but like surrender your life to God. I promise you, you'll never regret it. It's gonna be hard. This journey isn't meant to be easy. No, you are not saved by faith and faith alone and can just live your life however the fuck you want and just know that you're going to go to heaven. That's not how that works. All I know is you need to die to yourself, surrender your life, surrender the outcome, and obey. If God is telling you to do something or you feel like God is telling you to do it, go fucking do it. Doesn't matter what it is. He's going to lead you down the most incredible path. I can say just me saying yes to so many things since February, since it came to my life, like my life has drastically changed. But I've had opportunities and put in positions and all these things that I never could have even imagined or dreamed of. And it's because of him. So listen, obey, surrender, and give it all to God. Love you all. Thank you for listening. For those who listened all the way through, and from the Sinner's Mouth podcast, yes, we're all sinners, but try not to be. Until next time, guys. Take care. Bye.